Hi guys, Tones here, another weekly review. I just purchased a new evaluation account. The two trades I took last week were on the previous account, so this one's breached. I made a new video as well about prop firms, what I think about them, what are pros and cons. And actually the fact that you can use it as a total beginner as well, without aiming to make money from them, obviously. Link is in the description for that video, by the way. But yeah, let's go into last week's trades. It was only two trades. It was a big ranging market, so I'm gonna try to make it short because I'll let's say that I make it short and it lasts 20 minutes. Let's get right into it. That's my trades journal for the week. You can see here there's a loss, and here there's a tiny loss, sort of break even, and those two trades were taken on my previous account. So here's the account, $94,000 drawdown breached, and these are the two trades from last week. This was the last week price action. It's pretty terrible. This is why I named that video managing a ranging market. At the start of the week, that's when I was keen to take some trades because I was thinking about having a little retrace before going down, and throughout the whole week then it was just trying to find a little move inside that range, because sometimes you can. If you sort of have an established range, maybe more on Ethereum here, you can find a little M formation that gives you 3 levels down and a W, and then you can bounce off there, but it's really can be low probability unless it's really clean on the 2-minute or the 5-minute, the model. And was expecting the drop by Friday, honestly, because this is the consumer sentiment date. It's once every 2 weeks. But I decided to not trade US anymore. I had a sweep of previous week low on Bitcoin while Ethereum was holding more bullish. And we had this multi-session W between Asia and UK. I actually had Bitcoin tapping Asia lows, whereas ETH wasn't. Here the retrace on Ethereum, the retest of that W was very low. You know, I usually want a break above and a retest around the 50 EMA. But on Bitcoin it was there. And so because I usually prefer to enter on ETH for less fees and more volatility, I still did enter that trade on Ethereum. It looked good. Mondays usually sometimes setups don't play up that much. I used to not want to trade Mondays or staying away. Let the market show a direction early in the week and then get on it. But there's a lot of times where Mondays were a really good day to trade. So I entered that trade, really good entry in my opinion. And then from there, price just went nowhere and started dripping. So on this trade, the retest was good. We had to move up. And then once we started retracing straight up down from my entry here, not going anywhere, I wanted ETH to hold the 50 EMA and it didn't. So I've still let price action move. And when we had this retest here of 50% of Asia, is at the same time Bitcoin still stayed in demand and in that breaker block, but took that liquidity here. From that point, I was okay, this is my new invalidation point. I don't want price to go lower than that. And that's why here I had, as soon as price went up here and went back above the 50 EMA, I raised my stop loss up saying, okay, I don't want, if price comes back below here now, this is my new invalidation point. Price retraced. This was really bad price action. So I'm actually happy I got out of this trade because I would have been stopped at here anyway. Some people would say the stop loss had to be below the first peak here of that W, but the way I trade, because I was already entering after a retest of that W, there was no reason for price to go lower. So yeah, exited there. This is not how you want to see your trade play out. Some people would say it was still a good trade if the stop loss was at the right place. Then from here, price action was really bad. Tuesday was bad. And when we came on Wednesday, we finally had to move up. Price this whole time was holding the quarterly open, which is this red line here. And then we have this build up, move up. And I really only took this trade because I only had $100 and something left on my previous evaluation account. So it was like a bit pointless to trade that amount of money. And I knew that the next day or the day after, Breakout was going to drop their new pricing on their evaluation, so that I was going to get a new account anyway. So I knew I was going to switch to another account, so I was happy to take a bit of a higher risky trade. The idea was good. Had the first rise, trying to trade a move back to 50% of Asia and rebalance this zone. The thing is that we had 3 bursts. We had an M here into supply, retesting the 800 EMA on the 5 minute. A little bit of a market structure break and a retest of a breaker block here. So that's what gave me my entry. But price had another like 1 stab, and same on Bitcoin, had another 2 stab here before going to target. This was my second trade of the week, and I was a loss. And then from there, I didn't see anything that was worth trading. It was really hard to navigate this whole price action. And like I said, sometimes in a ranging market like this, you can find, maybe here is sort of an example on Friday, where you have grab of liquidity and you have 1, 2, 3 level down, can re-enter here. All this is US, so I'm not trading in US, impossible for me to trade this. And on Friday was consumer sentiment here, start of US. It's a news that I used to pay a lot of attention to because it was giving me a lot of good setups, and it was the case that week as well. But because I've disconnected from US trading a lot, because it's at night time for me. It used to be around 1 in the morning, depending on if New York is in daylight saving or if we are in daylight saving in Australia. This is 11 midnight for me, so not trading it. It was though kind of a good entry. It had a bit of, it's not the best supply, but you had a beautiful M of the EMAs here and 50% of the previous day on Bitcoin. You had a bit of a consolidation here, retrace under Asia low, where it could have been a confirmation trade to low of previous week or even lower. By this time, if I'm staying up to monitor the trade, which I like to do, I don't really like to go to bed with a trade open. Like I explained in a previous weekly review, here it's already like 1 in the morning, and then it's a new decision I made to prioritize my sleep, and I get way enough opportunities in Asia and in UK that I don't really have to wake up for US. This is one thing that happens with trading. You're going to make decisions that are trying to improve something, and sometimes it's going to work against you on a certain trade. You're never going to make the best decisions. It's a bit of a trade-off on everything you do. I kind of knew that the setup was going to come in US. I didn't want to stay up for it, and I stick to my new rules, prioritize my sleep. I'll still get another setup next week and the week after. There's no rush. And that's it for my week. So not much happened. It was really difficult in a ranging week like this. One thing I want to add regarding this sell-off on Friday is if you never take profit of a trade, you never know what the market's going to do, right? And look at what happened during the weekend. If you didn't take profit all along that way down, you probably got back to entry, stopped at break even if you're break even. And I don't exactly know where the price is now, but yeah, probably even at your stop loss or anything. So take profit. Don't be afraid of exiting a trade, even if the price keeps going down. Or, if you closed at a 4R and you're like, oh, this could have been a 20R trade. Yeah, most of the time you're going to give back your profits. Take those profits when you can, close that trade and walk away from your laptop. All right, that's it for the week. I think I managed to make it short. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.